Committee meeting to order at 6:45. Consideration of claims. Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of claims.
During consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $349,133.72. Elon credit card in the amount of $5,552.05. Manual checks in the amount of $3,590. Payroll and liabilities for 5/2/2025 in the amount of $244,001.40 for a total of $602,277.17.
Do I have a second on that?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we have any requests from Mia or Mr. Butterfield, excuse me?
That's okay, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything.
You don't have anything? Neither do you?
Your Honor, no, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. There being no other business to come before the committee, I adjourn the Finance Committee at 6:46.
now call the May 20th, 2025 regular meeting of the Riverton City Council to order at 7 p.m. Councilmember Larson has agreed to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and Councilmember Bailey has agreed to lead us in an invocation. If everyone could please rise and remove your hats.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dearest Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings that we enjoy living here in this wonderful city of Riverton and the state of Wyoming. Please bless us in all that we do tonight, that we will make decisions that are best for the citizens of this wonderful city, that we will do so in a responsible manner, and that you will guide us in all the decisions that we have to make. We ask you to please pour out your blessings upon all of our emergency responders, police, military, and all of those who go about serving us every day. We ask you to keep them safe and in your thoughts all the time. We ask you to please bless all of us as we go home tonight, that we will be safe, and we ask all of these things in the name of thy beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Ms. Harris, if you could please conduct the roll call.
Yes, Your Honor. Councilman Eric Carr.
Here.
Councilmember Rebecca Pearson-Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilmember Carla Borders.
Absent.
Councilmember Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilmember Karen Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Tim Hancock.
I'm here. I'd entertain a motion to excuse Councilwoman Borders from tonight's meeting. She still dealing with some sickness and also is in Casper for a medical appointment.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Larson with the motion, Councilman Bailey with the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Thank you, Councilman Carr. Motion passes. I declare we have a quorum. I'd entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by Councilwoman Johnson, second by Councilman Bailey. Any discussion, additions, corrections? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. We'll start off with why we have a pretty large contingent of first responders here tonight, which thank you everyone for showing up. You look very good. I'm glad to see you're all here. We have Riverton Police Department awards. These will be done by the chief. I'll come and meet you down at the podium if that works. And we'll try to, you kind of take charge of where you want people to be, chief.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Tonight, we're here to recognize the life-saving actions, first of all, of two of our officers. On September 30th last year, our 911 center received a call of a person who had fallen inside their home. The caller was the wife of a 64-year-old male who became unresponsive and suddenly stopped breathing. Our on-duty field officers responded and arrived to find the male not breathing and without a pulse. Rescue breathing, compressions, and application of a donated AED was performed, and several shocks were delivered to the patient. Their efforts prevailed, and they were able to get the victim's heartbeat back. The ambulance arrived, and the victim was transported to local hospital and survived the medical emergency. We know the first 4 minutes is crucial when somebody stops breathing, and death can occur within 4 to 6 minutes after someone stops breathing. Tonight, we want to recognize for their quick and professional response that led to the saving of this victim. Tonight, I call and recognize Sergeant Amy Filer and Officer Tyler Larson. Okay. Stay up here?
Yeah,
There's
I was
more.
gonna say. Wait, there's more.
Off to the side, we're going to crowd the room tonight. Next, our schools are lucky to have Riverton police officers assigned to local schools as school resource officers. These officers build strong relationships with a diverse range of students, including those with disabilities and behavioral health issues. They receive training in new and emerging situations such as digital safety, human trafficking, mental health, substance abuse, and emergency operations. The key to their success of the program is to have someone who is the right fit and can build trust within the faculty and students. Tonight, we're recognizing one of the SROs whose work on a particular day in 2024 made the difference that we believe changed the direction of a situation where a series of events could have led to a tragic outcome. Due to the sensitive nature of this particular event, I will not go into specifics, but our SRO received some startling information about a young lady who had given birth to a newborn, was scared, and was hiding the event from family members. Our officer was highly concerned about the female's health and the newborn. Throughout the day, our SRO was able to narrow down the information and successfully locate the household. He identified the young mother and baby boy inside the child's room. He was able to bring care that they needed. If it were not for this officer's actions and trust he's built, this story would not have ended as well. We want to recognize School Resource Officer Tyler Larson for his commendable service to our community and schools tonight. We appreciate your dedication and care and service. Yeah, we'll be here a few minutes. Stay there. Next, we want to recognize all the personnel who worked to successfully resolve a critical incident on Pinecrest Street last month. This is not about the criminal investigation. This is recognition for how the incident was handled, how law enforcement units from all over the county worked together, how civilian personnel supported our mission, and how it was coordinated in our dispatch center. On April 16th, our officers were conducting a criminal apprehension mission at a home on Pinecrest. A standoff ensued, and a call for additional personnel was quickly answered. This included deputies from the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, officers from Lander and Shoshone Police Department, Riverton Community Service Officer, and Victim Witness Advocate, and several engine companies from the Riverton Fire Department. Some of the officers, deputies, firefighters, and civilian personnel worked throughout the night. Some were up for 24 hours and some close to 36 hours. We will now hear from our supervisory staff who will want to recognize the different groups that came together that night. First, I ask Sergeant Jake Nation to please come forward to recognize his staff.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Just real quick, I want to shout out to all the deputies and officers that were involved. Their professionalism, patience, and teamwork throughout the night, it led to the successful outcome. So as I read your names, if you please approach the podium and we'll get you your certificate. First is going to be Aaron Lane. All right, Scott Garner. Rhett Rogue. Nate Meeker. From Lander Police Department, Casey Tadwell.
In Fremont County.
Jacob Halsmer. From Riverton Police Department, Officer Tyler Larson. Officer Scott Christopherson. Officer Brandon Brookover. Officer Dustin Pritchard. Officer Michael Mayfield. Officer Taylor Murphy. And last but not least, Officer Bartley Schwegler.
Now I'd like to call up Lieutenant Wharton, who was our incident commander for the night, to recognize the team leaders for the night. Lieutenant?
Mayor, Council, I'd like to recognize some guys who were very instrumental in the outcome of this incident. As incident commander, there's a point in time when you have to switch from being the tactical guy outdoor kicking and then put that hat away and put on an incident command hat. A lot of responsibility goes on along with that, and I wouldn't have been able to do what I did, all that I did, without the support of these guys. So first, I'd like to recognize from Fremont County Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Jesse Moss. I don't know if he's here or not. I haven't seen him. Sergeant Jeff Leafgreen from Shoshone PD. These guys, I couldn't do anything in this job here without them, and I want to give special recognition from Riverton Police Department, Sergeant Jacob Nation. Sergeant Randy Foose. Sergeant Charlie Marshall.
Direct orders.
Yes, it was. There were two guys that were instrumental for cleaning up after all of us made a mess, and I cannot thank them enough. They don't get recognized for it. TFO Pete McCall, who is not here, he's outside of town for training, and Detective Sergeant Eric Smits. There were two guys that, as an incident commander, they were my right and left hand. And I'd like to recognize them. One of them's not here; he couldn't make it tonight. It's Under Sheriff Mike Hutchinson and Chief Kelly Waugh from Lander PD. Kill it. Yeah. So I'm supposed to turn it back over to the chief right now, but I'm going to go off script like I always do. To the 10 or so firefighters that were at the IC trailer, thank you. And you know what I'm talking about. I really appreciate it.
As Lieutenant mentioned, he was the incident commander. If it wasn't for his work and dedication, again, this would not have evolved as a successful conclusion at the end. So I want to thank Lieutenant Wharton for his work tonight, or that evening. Captain Romero was there throughout the night, helped out with negotiations. He could not be here tonight, but I want to recognize Captain Romero for his work throughout the evening and helping out with the incident. Thank you. So there's a couple other positions I want to recognize tonight. We have a new program in Riverton. It's called our Community Service Officer Program. That night, I believe he also pushed 36 hours, being perimeter, bringing equipment and supplies, helping notify neighbors around the scene. And as everyone knows, as a job description, duties is assigned, and he was put to that task that night. I want to thank CSO Connor. Our victim witness advocate, she was placed in charge of displaced family member. She helped coordinate change of clothing, transport for a safe place for the night, and ensured medical care when needed. Luann, please come forward. Our dispatch unit coordinated field units, support units, and units who were covering our calls in Riverton while the standoff was underway. They truly take care of care about their work and are dedicated to ensure all our officers were accounted for that evening and make sure that everyone came home safely. I can recognize Lead Dispatcher Sarah Nelson. Dispatcher Kristen Havens. She's watching on YouTube. Brandy Ramage. YouTube. Thank you. Trey Laird is watching on YouTube and covering our 911 center as we speak. So thank you, Trey. And Caitlin Parker. The final group is our fire department. Fire departments throughout the U.S. have needed to expand their roles in performing technical rescues, respond to man-made disasters, and other emerging threats and events that are becoming an everyday occurrence in our national news. Fortunately, the members of the Riverton Fire Department have stepped up that night and stood side by side with our law enforcement officers when the dangerous situations occur in our community. Tonight, we want to recognize the dedication of our firefighters who stayed with our law enforcement until they resolved the situation. They assisted on scene overnight and were equipped and prepared to protect the neighboring homes in case this incident took a turn for the worse. Fortunately, their firefighting skills were not needed that night, but provided essential support during the night. This included providing logistics such as command trailer, which was used as a command post for the multi-agencies, lighting, and helping maintain a perimeter while the city is waiting for additional law enforcement officers to arrive. It's my pleasure to work with these dedicated volunteers. Many of them responded from their full-time jobs, stayed up with our officers, and after the threat to the neighborhood ended that following morning, continued back to their daytime jobs. And tonight, on behalf of the entire city, your first responders, brothers and sisters, we want to thank each and of you who volunteered to make sure everyone came home safe. Past Chief Jake Blumenschein. Past Chief Corey Higgs. Assistant Chief Eric Noland. Right here. Captain Tyler Goff. Captain Terry Hurd. Captain Chance Hinkle. Like you played a dual role that night. Captain Dallas Olson. Captain Seth Roan. Lieutenant Chance Mathis. Firefighter Jared Blumenschein. Firefighter Larry Hutchins. Firefighter Jace Leach. Firefighter Robin McKillany. Thank you. Sorry about that. Firefighter Preston Ward. Probationary Firefighter Ryan Watson. Probation Firefighter Michael McAuliffe. Probation Firefighter Ken Murphy. And retired firefighter Jimmy Cassidy.
I'm glad you showed up.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and staff, for allowing us to recognize professionalism, integrity, dedication, and determination to resolve that incident that night and result in no one getting hurt. With that, Mayor, it may be appropriate to ask our comrades, Frontier Ambulance, to please come up. Mayor, I believe you have something you'd like to do.
So I was speaking with the chief, and one of the things that we were discussing is we don't often have this opportunity to recognize everybody. We have EMT Week, which we have more EMTs that showed up than we did nurses for Nurses Week. And we have a chance to do that, and I'll read that proclamation here in just a minute. But while we have everyone here, unique way to do things, but I wanted to say a word of prayer with us all here. I'd encourage everyone, all the first responders come up, and just would ask, if you want to join in, great. If you want to step out, great. Any of those things work. But we don't often have a chance to have you here. The contribution that you make to our community every day is phenomenal. I know we've had some opportunities to recognize some of those things recently. We had the Peace Officer Memorial Recognition in Douglas, for example, recently. We had Nurses Week. We have different ways that we recognize all of you separately, but together as a body and recognizing all of you for what you do. I just want to say thank you. And I think having an opportunity where we can be together, where we can pray together for your safety, for your family's safety, and for your family's continued protection while you're gone, I just wanted to have that chance. Our dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful to be surrounded here by these fine men and women who serve the community of Riverton every day. I ask Thee to please bless them, that as they continue to serve, they will have Thy Spirit with them, that they will be protected throughout their labors, and that their families will be protected when they are away. I ask that it please help them that they can have a greater degree of camaraderie with each other, a greater ability to work together, and to see what needs to be done and to act upon it quickly and with guidance from Thee. We are so grateful as the community of Riverton for their service and ask Thee to continue to help them understand our gratitude and what they mean to us as a city. And ask Thee, please, to continue to bless them with guidance from Thee, safety, and with the Spirit. And these things we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, now, we have a photo opportunity, so we would probably want to do that up here if we can squeeze in. I would ask the tall people, Lane, you're in the back. Try to arrange yourselves as much as you can by height, and we'll just take a picture here with the council here. If that's okay with everyone. If you're worried you're going to break the camera, I've had cameras take pictures of me, they don't break. Casey, I don't know. Where's your wife? She doesn't come through. So she doesn't have to come here.
Good.
Let's stand with Schwegler, even though I'm not his exact height.
Stanley right in front.
I'm so short. With these guys in front of me, they're really close to me.
Stand on the chair. I'll hold it.
Officer Swagler has had nightmares about this moment.
There.
I think we need one of your All right.
See the cameras?
Barely.
Yeah. Eh. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes our awards presentation for tonight. Thank you one more time for all our first responders.
Hey, Ryan.
If you would like, because we have a lot of council members here that didn't get a chance to shake your hand, if you're willing to shake hands with the council, feel free.
Charlie?
Yeah, I got you.
Yes, sir. You ever go home? Chief?
Thanks, guys.
Partly.
Sure. Appreciate it.
Hey, my man, how are you?
Good job, sir.
Yeah, I was like walking, listening.
Thanks.
Roby? Hey. Glad your wife made it.
Going?
It's not like I never see her anyway.
Thanks. Thanks, sir.
I might some days.
Jimmy, thank you.
You.
Thanks, sir.
You.
Yes, that's so cool. I've been trying to send people your way.
Good.
Have you had that many people, like, from the jail or anything over there? I'm trying. She is doing substance abuse evaluations for people. Be a certified evaluator. So just for dispatch, she does that. It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, we didn't lose our EMTs, did we? I'm going to change our order a little bit because... Hello. I don't think I'm on. Was I too loud? Did I break it?
You're on.
You're on. Okay, good. Nobody has an issue. Could we just kind of switch the order and do the EMS Week proclamation now while we have them?
Yeah.
Interesting, we did it in that order. So I'd like to read the EMS Week proclamation, and I know Carol probably would have corrected me. Not EMT proclamation, EMS Week proclamation. You can come back up. So, this is a proclamation to designate the week of May 18th through 24th, 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services fills healthcare gaps by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, those are the EMTs I was referring to earlier, there's more than those, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it's appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishment of emergency medical services providers by designating the Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Tim Hancock, Mayor of Riverton, Wyoming, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through 2024, May 18th through the 24th, 2025. This is the problem with trying to read fast. As Emergency Medical Services Week. The 51st anniversary of EMS Week theme is EMS Week, We Care for Everyone. I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities in honor of the EMS profession and the essential service it provides. So, I've signed that. I'm going to give a copy to you, Carol, before you leave today. I'd like you, if you want, to come up and speak at all and introduce who you have here. One of the things I do want to say while I still have the microphone is one of the things that I have learned from Ms. Harper through our various ways that we have engaged with each other over the years that she had informed me of is there's a lot that goes into providing services to folks before they get brought to the hospital. The work that you're doing while you've got a vehicle running at sometimes breakneck speeds, hopefully not, that, you know what I mean. Please be safe, but yes, please be fast, is you're doing a lot to be able to save lives. Like the chief said, those first few minutes that a person might lose air or whatever is going on are essential, and you're over there doing exactly that. And you're appreciated. I just want to make sure you understand and know that our community needs you, and we appreciate you. So, did you have anything else to say, or maybe introduce who you have there with you?
This is Diane Lane. She's our Director of Operations.
Diane?
Hello. Thank you, Mayor Hancock, for this tonight. We appreciate it on the EMS side. I'll introduce my crew members. I have Brian Flores. He is one of our shift leads. He's a paramedic. I have Robert Kinney. He is a shift lead, and he is an EMT advanced, working on getting an ALS license and an intermediate. He'll be done with that at the end of June. I have Zoe Miller. She's one of my newer EMT basics. I have Cameron Igo, one of my newer EMT basics. And I have Mr. Michael Bond. He's one of my advanced EMTs. So there's different levels here tonight. And I have Connor, who came to me as a part-time worker again. So, and he's an EMT basic as well.
Great. Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you for your service to the community. And yeah, we'll give you this. Do you want to take a photo kind of like we did?
Sure.
We can do that. You're used to being behind the camera.
She is.
Maybe you should have introduced Carol Harper.
I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to be in the middle. Too late.
Thank you. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Great work.
Thanks, sir. Okay, for those who are wanting to be EMTs, Diane, where'd you go? Did you run away already? Oh, here you are. For those who want to be EMTs, tell me briefly, what would they need to do?
They need to find a class that's sponsored by some of the colleges do them. You have Casper College, you have Northwest College. Currently, CWC doesn't offer any courses for any kind of medicine, paramedicine. So you need to find a course, go through a course. Sometimes you can find places in counties that if you go on the state website of Wyoming, the EMS website, Sometimes some of the other entities will place their classes on there that they're going to be doing. A lot of them have been doing them virtual, and then you have to go to where they're at to do the skills checks. But there's different ways to get into EMS.
Good. All right. Well, thank you, and thank you for bringing your crew down here. I don't want to keep you from being able to, I mean, for the ones who are here in uniform, probably are on call, so we don't want to keep you too much, but thank you for being here and for letting us recognize you tonight.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
And one more? Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Carol.
As you mentioned before, we've been talking a lot about community safety and emergency management. And I just wanted to announce that the American Red Cross is going to be here on May 30th. We're going to have a shelter training, so if there's any organizations, churches, schools, it's a great opportunity to, on setting up and managing a small area crisis shelter. And you can find out more about the American Red Cross volunteer program. So if you take the shelter training, you're already get trained and as a volunteer. So it's a great opportunity for, you know, congregations and schools and anything like that. So that's on May 30th, and I know it's from 8 to, it's a Friday and it's from 8 to 12, but if you can't make it, send somebody to come and be a part of that. And you can get a hold of me if you.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, well, you need to actually, here, bring both of those to her so she can sign it too. All right. I think that we have, oh, yes. I think we have certain months of the year that just tend to have a lot of proclamations, and this is one. We have one more. We have other things to do after that. Not that I have a problem with it, I'm just explaining for people, if you are impatiently waiting to talk about something, then we'll get there soon. I have a proclamation regarding the 36th Annual Wyoming Weapons Collectors Memorial Weekend Gun Show. Whereas the Wyoming Weapons Collectors Association has hosted its annual Memorial Weekend Gun Show at the Fremont County Fairgrounds in Riverton for the past 35 years, becoming a significant annual event for the community. Whereas this event draws hundreds of patrons from across Wyoming and beyond, many of whom stay overnight, and patronize local businesses, contributing to the economic vitality of the city of Riverton. And whereas the 36th Annual Memorial Weekend Gun Show offers a family-friendly environment with a diverse array of collectors and vendors, appealing to seasoned hunters, Second Amendment supporters, firearms collectors, and beginners alike. And whereas the annual Memorial Weekend Gun Show serves as a vital fundraiser for the Wyoming Weapons Collectors Association, supporting youth education programs focused on the safe handling of firearms and marksmanship. And whereas the Wyoming Weapons Collectors Association has recently moved their primary office to Fremont County, which is great, appointing a longtime resident of Fremont County as their new secretary, further strengthening the local ties of this important organization. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Tim Hancock, Mayor of the City of Riverton, Wyoming, do hereby proclaim and recognize May 24th and 25th, 2025 as the 36th Annual Wyoming Weapons Collectors Memorial Weekend Gun Show in Riverton, and extend a warm welcome to all members, vendors, and attendees. In witness whereof, I have hereunto signed my hand and caused the seal of the City of Riverton to be affixed this 20th day of May, 2025. Anything that you want to add that I've missed? And if you come up, if you could tell everyone your name.
Mayor Hancock, members of the council, and esteemed members of the City of Riverton, thank you so much. We really appreciate the proclamation, and we appreciate the hospitality that we always receive here in Riverton. I'm Marilyn Midauer. I'm the new secretary, taking over after the former secretary stepped down after more than 30 years. So we're making some changes, and we're really moving the dial with getting more tourism coming into Riverton. I'm very happy to report that today, just this morning, I got a call from Upper Sandusky, Ohio. I think that may be our greatest traveled vendor who's coming to join us this weekend. So we're very pleased with that. We have members that go all across the state of Wyoming into all of our bordering states. We have members in Kansas City, Missouri, and Las Vegas, Nevada. So we will be in force this weekend and spending money, keeping the economy flowing well in Riverton this Memorial Day weekend. So thank you so very much. We really appreciate it. And of course, we invite everybody to the gun show, and especially the folks that are in uniform, all of our service members, first responders, police officers, law enforcement officers. Everyone's welcome to come and wear your uniform, and you're certainly going to be waved in the priority line for free. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Midhour, and thank you for all that you've been doing, and exciting news to have the Wyoming Weapons Collectors Association moving their primary office to Fremont County.
It is.
Great news.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'll give this to Mia here.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I probably should have read that while we had all of our law enforcement officers here, so they would know they could attend.
It went quick.
Yeah. Well, it tends to be how it goes. They're busy, and we appreciate the work they do, and I certainly don't mind if they have to get moving. Okay, reports and comments is what we've got next. Council committee reports and council members roundtable. Councilman Carr, since you're there by video, or by phone, well, video if you're watching, how about we start with you?
Thank you, Your Honor. This will be quick, as I've been traveling for the last week and a half. I don't have anything to report, but I was definitely pleased to see the awards for the police department, and just wanted to reiterate thanks to all of those attending.
Thank you, Councilman Carr. Councilwoman Pearson-Lewis.
Yeah, thank you. Nothing really to report. I'm happy to see that our Riverton Youth Council application is out. I've got several kids that have started filling it out. It is finals week, so this is why we put the deadline after school, but several have had me print it for them, or have gotten it started. So, yeah. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good to hear we've got some applications going. That's great news. Councilman Bailey.
Thank you. The only meeting I've had since we met last was, we had the airport board meeting. And again, the airport is still doing very well over 2,000 people enplaned in April. And probably by the end of this month, we will have hit the 10,000, the magic number that helps us with our federal funding. And so again, they're doing very well. Lots of stuff. They've got some projects going up, some construction projects going on this summer. And so things are going well up at the airport.
You could say they're looking up even?
Yeah.
I try. Somebody chuckled. That's all I needed. Maybe don't encourage it, I suppose. Councilman Larson.
Your Honor, I attended the solid waste meeting yesterday, held in Lander at the Lander facility. The two projects which we have been nursing along, the Lander transfer station and the new station at Du Bois, are 99.99 complete. Problem with electric fences, which is always a problem, as the airport has experienced over quite a while. Secondly, we passed a primary budget, and they are not raising any fees at the solid waste, although the county has requested a 10% cut in each one of the departments. Solid waste does not need to do that. And thirdly, the most important thing is we hired a new engineer who will be working for us 30 hours a week, and he will be working remotely from his home in Arizona, but will be on site minimum of 30 hours a week. And that's a savings of about $150,000.
It's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
All right, Councilwoman Johnson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, I attended last week the work session, and I'll get back to that because I think some of us have received a lot of emails regarding some of the decisions that we made. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I also attended the rec board meeting the previous Monday, and they offered some follow-up. I have requested to vacate that seat. I feel my values as far as transparency are concerned differ from that of the boards, and I think that maybe somebody else would be better suited for that position. But getting back to the discussion that we had on Tuesday, I have spent a significant amount of time responding to emails, phone calls, text messages. There's been a lot of citizens that have reached out regarding some of the decisions, I don't want to say decisions, some of the discussion that we had surrounding the contract for services and taking into consideration a lot of the conversations that we've had. I have to agree with them, and I think that we strive to do what we feel are right most of the time, but I think we may have gotten it wrong with our recreation. And I don't know if now is the appropriate time to do that, but I want to amend my recommended amount to them. And I don't know if we do that tonight or at a different time.
What would you recommend, Mr. Butterfield, as to how to handle that?
Your Honor, we'll follow your direction, but if there are others of the council that would like to rediscuss that, there's opportunity to do that at your next regular meeting as an agenda item, if that's what you'd like to do.
I think it'd make more sense if we're going to change that, to have it as an agenda item, just so there could be any feedback or that kind of thing.
That would, yeah. We also did receive additional information back from PAWS, which was very helpful. And that's going to be another recommendation too that I wanted to amend. But other than that, that is, I believe, all I have. Tonight was near and dear to my heart. And this room was filled with nothing but professionalism and bravery, and not just anybody can do that job. And every one of those guys and girls in this room tonight, they're incredibly special people, and I'm grateful for them. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well said. So do we want to, anybody have an issue with putting that on our next agenda? Having some discussion about whether we want to, I mean, we could actually vote on it at that point and kind of see where we'd want to put the numbers, if we want to change them or not.
This next meeting is our budget meeting, correct?
No. It's our budget meeting is not until the 10th. Yeah, it's the next week after that.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it'd be basically trying to finalize it, and I think what we had discussed, at least the early discussion, has been we wanted to keep the 240,000 the same, but then adjust it if we wanted to before we would have the final budget that would be out the next week. It does make things a little bit tight, but in terms of the budget itself, we could probably even put in the book that this is just contract for services in this amount, and then have additional supplement or something like that that would indicate where the contracts for services would be going. I don't know. We could figure that out and figure how we would do that.
Your Honor, yeah, and again, we'll follow your direction. Just as a point of information, we do need to advertise the public hearing at least 1 week prior to the meeting, and we do have it slated to have the hearing and adoption for June 10th. So if you would like, we could move forward with that June 3rd date. You also have the opportunity to call a special meeting for the 27th if you so chose. And I think from staff's perspective, the most important direction we can receive from you is the funding allocation. If you're looking to keep it at that 240,000 limit that you discussed last week, or if you want to amend that, that will impact how we advertise that budget.
If it helps, I'm not going to recommend raising the ceiling on the 240,000. I want to stay within those parameters. But I do want to recommend full funding, if not a little bit more, for our recreation.
Anybody else any thoughts on that?
Well, Your Honor, I guess and I agree that we need to stay within the 240,000. And so that means all of them are on the agenda again. So the other organizations need to be present to make their case also, because you can't split something and have more than you started with.
That's a good point.
And again, as we discussed prior, these were all tough decisions, and we wish we had the money to give everybody what they needed and/or wanted, but we don't. And
Well, and I guess depending on if we do make any changes, and then I guess what we could do is we could kind of tackle that when we get to it, whether that means we're going to want to change the budget adoption from the 10th to the 27th.
I would,
no, just the meeting on the
Right.
contract for services.
Your Honor, I will be out of town on the 27th, and I won't be returning until the 30th.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, for right now, let's put it on our next budget, or on our next agenda, and play it by ear from there. Appreciate you bringing that up, Councilwoman Johnson, and we can discuss it and get something sorted out. Okay. Mr. Butterfield, City Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have a few things to work through. First and foremost, I'm just so proud of our community, and I appreciate what the chief and so many others did tonight to recognize our first responders. And maybe I'll just keep it brief by saying Riverton's a pretty amazing place, and tonight showed the character of a lot of the people that make this place great. It's the people that do it, and I think Riverton has a certain character, and we saw it tonight. There will be a planning commission, moving on from that. There will be a planning commission this Thursday at 5:30. The planning commission will consider a replat at the Eastern Shoshone Business Park, and that meeting is open to the public. I also want to note that in conjunction with National Public Works Week, the Public Works Department will be doing a truck show in the parking lot of City Hall. And the public are invited to attend. That will run this Friday from noon to 3. And it's always a good time. And I don't care if you're 5 years old or 95, anytime you get around big equipment, it's pretty exciting. So I want to say thanks to the Public Works Department for putting that on. The Public Works Department also informed me that they will be demoing new street sweepers, and you'll have opportunity to see those working through the community over the next little bit as we work towards the potential purchase of a new sweeper as proposed in the next fiscal year budget.
In other words, as we're considering which one to buy, we're going to be having our streets swept. Could we have, like, the community, could they rate it like 1 to 10 or something on how the street looks? Get some feedback?
Well, Your Honor, thank you. We could probably put out a survey card on the,
On the street sweeper itself, just kind of stick it on it, and sounds good.
The one that picks up the most cards gets wins? Or?
Yeah.
Sounds like Vegas.
And just for clarification's sake, these demos will not circumvent our bidding process pursuant to state statute. What it will do is help us to establish the appropriate bid specs for that so that we know exactly which type of street sweeper we want to spec out in that competitive bid process. Since our work session last week, I'm happy to report that the City of Riverton has been informed that it will receive 2 grants that we had not planned in the budget proposal, and therefore we will need to amend these into the budget for final consideration on June 10th. The first is a community-wide assessment grant from the EPA and the Brownsfield program. This will allow the city to work with a consultant to envision areas that can be revitalized and also remediated. and we're happy to receive that. The total funding amount for that is $500,000. We also had informally been informed that we would receive a Safe Streets for All grant. However, we never received the actual funding contract. We were waiting for that, as several grant programs have been changing, especially at the federal level, and we were informed last week, Mr. Eggleston was, that that grant will indeed come through as we were originally anticipating. We still haven't received the formal documents, but he was told that they are moving off of someone's desk and heading our way. And that is a great opportunity for us to explore ways to improve our corridors from a safety standpoint. Once this project, as far as corridor planning, is completed, we can aggressively seek grant funding through that same program to actually improve some of our streets and intersections. So kudos to our team, and it just shows how quickly things can change in municipal government, but just from a week ago, these are two funding opportunities that we will need to bring into the budget for next year. Finally, Your Honor, it's with sadness that we announced that Bob Sprague and Susan Sprague are retiring from the city of Riverton. Bob has worked for us for 11 years as our engineering technician, and to use a baseball analogy, he is a five-tool player. He surveys, he designs, he inspects, and he does so many things for our department, so much so that we don't really know how to replace him. Bob came to us from Imberg Miller and has been a very valuable resource to the city of Riverton, and has served both in the Community Development Department and also the Public Works Department. Susan has served as our deputy court clerk and has been a great asset to the team, and we are going to miss her because she came from the legal profession and immediately brought experience that was valuable for Judge McKee and our court team. So we're sad to see them both retiring at the same time, but wish them well as they move on to new adventures. And with that, Your Honor, I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you. I just wanted to read from the Brownfield application, the letter that they sent to me, which I was really glad to receive, said, I am pleased to congratulate you and confirm that the City of Riverton was selected as one of the entities EPA will begin negotiations with to award a cooperative agreement for an assessment grant. The City of Riverton submitted an outstanding application, and we deeply appreciate the tremendous commitment of time and energy that went into its preparation. So, really grateful to staff for all the work that they do. I think that this is one of many grants that I say repeatedly that we have staff that go out after competitive grants, they succeed in them, and it really makes it possible for us to do what we do, because without those, we would really be struggling. When you look at the percentage of our budget that comes in through grant funding, it's incredible. So I just really was impressed with that as a letter that they sent, and appreciate the city staff jumping on that. I had the opportunity to attend the CWC graduation. It was actually funny. The last time I attended a CWC graduation, it was my own, and it was back in 1998. It was a great year. We had a band at the CWC graduation, believe it or not. I was in the band, and wearing my graduation robes and everything, and then went over and sat down with the grads. And it was fun to be there for a graduation and just see how things are a little bit different, but they're the same. It was the same stage that we were on when I graduated. I was not hanging out with the STEM kids because I was in like the liberal arts graduation because I graduated in music. So this time I got to go to the STEM graduation. My son, TJ, very proud of him graduating this year, not only from CWC, but from high school. So. And it was great to be able to have Ryan Cox. He was the commencement speaker, doing the same thing as TJ, graduating from CWC and from high school. So I think we have a great program here in Central Wyoming College. I appreciate what they do for the community. They're very involved. Brad Tyndall is just incredible in terms of how much he gets involved in everything. And it's just was really fun to be able to be there, but it was also good to be able to remember what it was like when I graduated over there. It was very different, but the same. The next thing is, if anybody's been watching the news, you're probably aware that we've had a lot of fighting at a federal level about the budget. If you're familiar with the federal budget process, the different government agencies on a federal level send their recommendations to the president. The president then sends his recommendation to Congress what to do with the federal budget. Then Congress can decide what are we going to do with the federal budget, because ultimately they're the ones that have to give the yay or nay. Well, one of the things that affects us locally is that what is being proposed in the president's budget right now is the complete destruction, for lack of any better word for it, of the Job Corps program. The budget proposes no funding for the Job Corps program, which would just completely leave us out of many jobs that are here in Riverton, Wyoming, and the opportunity for education that we have here, and collaboration that our local Wind River Job Corps is involved in every day. Our Job Corps students have become an incredible part of the community. Our instructors are an incredible part of the community. And I guess I bring this up because it hasn't happened yet. And by that I mean that's what's in the president's budget, which, by the way he calls it is that Job Corps is a failed experiment. And I don't think I have to tell you, and I'll tell you, I got some of these statistics, at least for our center. Some of what they have talked about is the bottom 10 performing Job Corps centers, not centers like ours or some of the others in the country. According to March 2025, 85.6% of Job Corps completers are being placed. They're getting a job. I don't know what the statistics are like at some of our colleges. I'm not trying to disparage them. I graduated from college. I just talked about CWC, but that's a pretty good statistic. I don't know that my law school class had that high of a statistic. 75.4% are going into the jobs that match their training. I was just speaking with Jared Baldus, who works over at the Job Corps, and I received a degree in criminal justice. I did not work in the field of criminal justice immediately upon graduation. I was an English as a second language teacher for quite a few years. Having a job that's actually in your line of work is incredible, and that percentage, I think, really speaks for itself. 75.4% of them are going into jobs that match their training. And the average starting wage is $19.30 an hour. Specifically for carpenters, the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, the pre-apprenticeship graduates average 21.57 per hour, 21.57 per hour, and they're placed directly into the United Brotherhood of Carpenters registered apprenticeship program, which directly works towards apprenticeship. So, I would encourage you, if you're a citizen of Riverton and you care about where we've been able to get to where we are now, and with the success that I think people have had with our Job Corps program here, to reach out to Representative Hageman. She is currently, it's at the House. Well, it's not at the House yet as a whole. It just barely got through the committee as is, with the Job Corps programs being removed. And so we haven't gotten to the committee as a whole yet, but I would encourage you to reach out to Representative Hageman. I would encourage you to reach out to our senators, Senator Lummis, Senator Barrasso, and speak in favor of Job Corps, because I think it's been incredible for our community. It's been a great boost in the arm for our economy, and I think it just has really done a lot for a lot of people in the country, but Wind River Job Corps in particular has done a lot for our community. So, off of my soapbox there, but I would encourage folks to be paying attention to that, and I don't know that, you know, even if you had 10,000 people in Riverton, Wyoming that reached out to Representative Hageman, what that would do, but if we could now, what a boon that would be, and what a message that we can send. I know there's a lot of people that are working in that direction, and I guess I would encourage you, Job Corps really tries to be as transparent as they can in the community. If you don't know what they're all about, they have at least once a year, I think, an opportunity to go and be on their campus and just kind of see what they're all about. And it's really just an opportunity for folks to get an education in technical fields that you don't otherwise have an opportunity to get an education in, unless you just happen to fall right into the right place and the right person that you're working for. Okay, off of my soapbox, that's it for my report. We'll move on to communication from the floor, citizens' comments. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on an item that is already scheduled for discussion? I'll make sure that you get an opportunity to speak during that discussion period. If I don't specifically see you, then make sure you raise your hand, get my attention while that agenda item is being discussed. However, if you would like to speak about something for which we do not have an agenda item set, then this would be a good time to come up and speak to us. I'd ask in either event you try to keep your remarks to 5 minutes if you're an individual, or to 10 minutes if you're part of a group. Split it up between you and the other members of the group. I'd ask that you keep to general decorum rules in terms of parliamentary procedure, address all comments and questions to me, refrain from the use of individual names or making comments of a personal nature that would reflect upon the character or conduct of another person, criticism, ridicule, name-calling, that sort of thing. And I'd ask you to keep your comments to the question that's under consideration if you speak about an agenda item. So, if there's anybody who would like to come up and speak, please come up, tell us your name, and tell us what you want to talk about. And I do set a timer on my phone, so if you hear a random loud beeping, that's what it is telling you your 5 minutes is up.
I'm Kristen Marshall. I live here in Riverton. I'm a graduate of CWC. I'm a registered nurse. I wanted to speak on behalf of our recreation program. I'm hoping that you will reconsider the funding. I just wanted to share with you on a personal level how beneficial and impactful it's been for my children. Specifically, my 18-year-old, his name is Noah. Noah, when we first moved here, he fell in love with the Summer Academy program. And he developed a love for theater, because with the Summer Academy program, you can kind of fine-tune your interests, if you will. He had a lot of wonderful mentors that were some college students, some high school students that were very supportive, answered a lot of questions. Mary was very helpful in connections as well. There were other classes that he was fond of, but after that, he decided that as a 15-year-old, due to connections and the interests that he had gained from that program, he wanted to go to college, to CWC. He then took some theater classes, he took some film classes. He also graduated from high school and from CWC this year. He has been able to intern with PBS. These connections and the opportunities from small town, our rec community programs are so impactful. It changed Noah's direction completely. He is now going around town and he films things that reflect the community that we have, like the balloon rally, the car show, even some, things that we don't really talk about, some more controversial things, but they're beneficial. And I coach soccer for the rec league. I'm a dugout mom, that's why I'm dirty. For the Little League baseball, parents will do anything for their kiddos, and we want to put in the time. We want to support these programs. We want our kids to have something to do in a small town, and I don't think that investment will return void. I think that if you invest in our kiddos, you're going to see a beautiful community. So I just hope that you would reconsider and maybe even increase funding for our rec. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. I'm familiar with Noah. And my kids are familiar with him as well. So he's I'd say a good kid. He's not really a kid anymore, but he's a good kid. Also was in speech and debate as well. So I was going to say Councilwoman Pearson Lewis is familiar with them too.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. My name is Kurt Gallitz, and I wanted to come out and, I don't want to say beg, but I'd like to plead with you guys as well in regards to our recreation. I had read an article on County 10 that it was being kicked on around that maybe we needed to have a budget cut with our recreation. And I mean, I don't understand what you guys are going through. Your decisions are hard, as some council members had said. It's tough out there. It's tight right now. I think if I hear the word tariff in my line of work, I might actually lose my mind. So it's tough. So I definitely can empathize what you guys are going through, but I'd like to reiterate what was just said. I think our recreation is an integral part of our community. I think it enriches youth, it enriches families. I think our recreation was a major impact in getting Boys and Girls Club to Riverton, which has been a major blessing in our community. I think it's just incredible for what it does. And it would just be heartbreaking to see that get cut. I was kind of reading through some of the articles. I think they've been operating on the same budget for about 15 years. And if we just kind of look at just basic inflation of about 3%, costs have gone up for them probably about $57,000 to continue to run what they're doing as what it currently is a miracle. And I think we all just met as a community less than 2 months ago to celebrate the miracles that the director of our recreation does for our community. So please, please, please take another look at that. I know you guys have a lot on your plate. I appreciate everything you guys do, but please take a look at that. I think it is just an amazing thing that it does for our community. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gallitz. Appreciate you. I was wondering if you were going to step up.
Just waiting my turn. Mayor and council. I'm Cindy Olson-Roden. I'm with the Riverton Chamber and Visitor Center. As always, unless I'm out of the state, I give a report on the Riverton Chamber and Visitor Center. We have, I think after the last meeting, the Wind River Visitors Council and ourselves put on a Google and TripAdvisor workshop that was very beneficial for any businesses that attended. We've had 2 after hours since then and a lunch and learn with a representative from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We are in preparation of giving upwards of 200 event bags for the gun show coming up this weekend. What goes into those event bags? All kinds of information about Riverton, Wind River Country, so that we can encourage those people maybe to come a day earlier, stay a day later. We're encouraging tourism. That is our job. We will have a lunch and learn. Our next lunch and learn is June 6th with the Riverton Medical District giving an update to us. That is 2 days after their event, their beam signing event, which we are very happy that they have asked us to participate in that with them, help them serve lunch and be a part of that, because we will be working together in the future on that from here on out. So one thing I do want to point out, since contract for services has come up, the things that I bring to you twice a month is just a little tidbit of what we do. It's just a fraction. I was working on an email too, and I've rewritten it 5 times to the council to talk about the Riverton Chamber and Visitor Center, because it was talked about by one councilman that, he didn't think we needed money towards us. And I will follow up with that email. I'm not going to go over that right now, but we do a lot. It's not just about the members. We have 3 hats. We run the chamber, which is for the businesses of the community. We also are involved in economic development. We are involved in tourism. We are the only entity in Riverton that promotes tourism, other than the Wind River Visitors Council, who covers the whole county. So I do want to point that out. Economic development, that's kind of a big blue sky, and we're at the tables with Idea Inc. Wind River Business Council. So we are doing a lot of things that people, don't even think about. It doesn't affect kids, it doesn't affect animals. We are in the business of business and economic development and the betterment of the community. So I'll follow up with an email talking a little bit more about that. Try not to make it too long, but thank you for your time, and do you have any questions?
Thank you, appreciate you coming and reporting regularly.
Thank you.
Unless you're at an AC/DC concert.
Exactly.
That's the one exception.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Ron Warpness. I hadn't intended on saying anything, but you know how it goes. When you remarked about the Job Corps, when I took office in 2011, we didn't have anything but sagebrush up there. And Mike Enzi was the senator at the time, and Mike worked his heart out to make that happen. Sandy Barton worked her heart out to make it happen. And it's discouraging to hear that it may be on the blocks, you don't know. But I hadn't heard that, and so I just wanted to throw my 2 cents worth in support of it, and I certainly will be contacting our representatives. I made a couple trips back to Washington. In fact, ex-Mayor Gard made one of those trips with me, and I really appreciated that. So there's been a lot of work that went in to get our Job Corps to the point that it is, and it's providing, I think, an invaluable service to the community. It does have its problems, probably, but when I took office, the state of Wyoming was the only state that didn't have a Job Corps. Some of the other surrounding states had 2 and 3 Job Corps, and they were complaining that, why don't you send your students to us? We'll be happy to take them. But it's just got a long history, so anyway, I appreciate your bringing that up. And the other thing I wanted to remark on, when I was with the city, we never had the kind of awards that you had this evening for our officers. And I want to compliment you and the mayor, or the chief, for what a wonderful group of young people in our community. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in. Appreciate your feedback. Consent agenda. Ms. Harris, could you read the consent agenda items by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, May 6th, 2025, regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, May 6th, 2025, executive session. Approval of the minutes, May 13th, 2025, council work session. Approval of the minutes, May 20th, Finance Committee meeting. And approval of the Finance Committee recommendations, May 20th, 2025.
Items requiring further discussion. Councilman Larson.
Your Honor, Finance Committee met this evening at 6:45, and consideration of claims were expressed of $349,133.72. Elon credit cards in the amount of $5,552.05. There were manual checks in the amount of $3,590. Payroll and liabilities for May 2nd in the amount of $244,001, $1.40. I always, when I make out my checks, I always round those up to $2 so I don't have to screw with that like I do on the water bills that I get 6 of them for 4 properties. And the total is $602,277.17.
Thank you, Councilman Larson. I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Carr, did you make the motion? Did I miss you?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I get a little bit of an echo. Okay, motion. Councilman Bailey, second. Councilwoman Pearson Lewis. All right, any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'll abstain from the Bailey Enterprises line item on the Finance Committee report.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. Optional half-cent excise tax for economic development, recipient presentation. I guess we'll start with you, Ms. Harris, but he's already walking up.
Come on up. I'll just provide just a brief introduction. As you know, over the past several meetings, we have brought some of our EDGE recipients back to the council to just let you know how they've spent their 0.5% optional tax on their business and their entity and how they helped improve the economy in Riverton. And tonight we have Tyler McCann from the Rendezvous City Beef Roundup to tell us how it's done.
Tell us how it's done, Tyler.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we obviously, Councilman Carr is absent and he is part of our planning committee. So he handles a lot of the technical stuff, and so I don't have a presentation to give you, but we are still, as you all know, the intent of us receiving that was to try and go after a funds matching grant at the federal level. And as most of you know, a lot of those programs have been paused or they're in somewhat of limbo. We have contacted a professional grant writer, and she's keeping us updated on which ones are available, which ones we would qualify for, which ones have been canceled. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot to report there other than we are still looking and wanting to leverage that money to get a funds matching grant to make the position more feasible for someone as a full-time position to fill. As we get closer to the event, we do have our social media marketing campaign will start June 1st. So we are looking to draw as many people as we can that way. We already have confirmation from attendees from China, Australia, I believe England again this year. So we're almost 90 days away. So we're focused very much on the actual nuts and bolts of planning the event. Because we have not been able to secure someone as a administrator for our position. We're a few weeks, maybe 8 weeks behind where I would like to be, but it seems like that's the nature of planning an event like this. Everything just, the things that are out of your control do take longer, but we are definitely moving forward. We have a great lineup of speakers. We have moved our event to the Fremont County Fairgrounds. We felt like that would give us better parking and a little bit more user-friendly area. And the fact that we are hoping to expand to 3,500 people in attendance, we felt like those were two big issues that we needed to address. That we weren't able to utilize CWC for anymore. So we're definitely moving forward. We've secured some new sponsors that are national level sponsors, and one of the fun events that we're gonna provide for free for anyone in the community this year is sponsored by a company called GoRuck based out of Florida. They sent us over $4,000 worth of workout equipment. As this is becoming a more health and fitness centered event, because so many of the people are very adamant about eating very clean meat. Two of the requests that they had were that we would produce a rodeo. They wanted to see something very Wyoming while they were here. And that was a little bit out of our realm for this year, but because we've moved to the fairgrounds, that's a possibility for next year. But they also wanted to do a workout. And so we are going to do the first ever Rancher's Ruck, sponsored by GoRuck. It's a 5K, And we have a 6-time national champion fitness guy, Jake Thomas, that'll be back to lead this. And we're going to start advertising that, but we're going to make 4 laps around the fairgrounds, and you're going to do ranch type activities in between each lap and see if you can keep up with me.
Are we going to have to be lugging around like a slab of prime rib or something?
Yeah, there you go. So we are going to roast a whole beef on a spit starting on Saturday morning.
Oh, fun.
And we'll be serving that for free for lunch on Sunday after the ruck. So
perfect.
Awesome part about a ruck is you can make it as absolutely difficult or as easy as you'd like. It can be just a brisk 5K walk, or you can add up to 60 to 80 pounds to your pack. And
a brisket 5K walk?
Yeah. There you go, brisket 5K. Yeah, I like it.
Hey, you're on a roll tonight.
I'm hungry is what I am.
So, yeah, we're just continuing to plan and move forward. And like I say, right now, trying to find an executive director. It's still active, but our main focus has shifted on to the next 90 days of producing the event. And hopefully we'll be successful at obtaining a few more grants and being able to fill that position.
So this is August 23rd, 24th, 2025?
Correct.
Is that correct? And it still says on your website on the campus at CWC. I imagine you're going to change that to the fairgrounds.
Yeah, we had a ticketing issue. They didn't accept the new ticketing provider didn't accept one of our documents until just about 2 weeks ago. And so working with County 10, they have all of our updates for the website. We actually just did a test and successfully purchased tickets on our end. So that'll all be updated supposedly this week.
All right, good. And your updates guy is going to have to be on that, right? Your
Yes.
technical guy?
Yes.
We'll remind him.
Okay, thank you.
And then, okay, so August 23rd and 24th, same as before, VIP pass is going to be $125, or what will it be for a VIP pass?
This year, we're going to make general admission on Saturday, which is when we'll have all of our presentations from our speakers, $100. We also have the $1,000 Ultimate Carnivore Pass, which we've already sold 6 of. And then we're going to reduce the amount of meat that the Wyoming producers were having to bring. We're going to reduce that to just sponsors, and that'll be our VIP dinner this year. So
Will be the sponsors?
Correct.
To judge it?
Yes.
You're not going to have just regular old Joes do it anymore.
We may offer a few tickets, as we know who has RSVP'd on some of these larger companies. They're not able to send representatives.
Gotcha.
So we will have some open seats. We're planning on serving 80 meals this year. 144, I believe, last year stretched us pretty thin.
Well, it's pretty difficult when you're coming in, you're competing for something that's mainly bragging rights, you know, and I mean, it can help with advertising too. Hey, we won the best beef in Wyoming for 2024 for the Rendezvous City Beef Roundup, you know. But it's an expense.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. So trying to
as their
move
cost of
some of that.
production goes up, and where we don't have the ability yet to reimburse them for some of that product, we felt like it was necessary to reduce it a little.
So do you still have the funding from the city? Are you just keeping that separate, keeping that in a place that you can keep it as matching as you go forward? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I know that sounds basic, but that's really, you know, the funding was intended as a match for a grant. So just wanted to ensure that that's still the plan with it.
Correct.
Right now, just sitting.
Yeah, and then, like I said, we have used a small amount of it just to make sure that we have everyone, but as so many of these federal grants have been paused, we're just in limbo at this point on that.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. McCann?
Thank you. Excellent event.
Thank you. Appreciate
I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I mean, I think I've been there 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. And some great beef. And the one that I voted for was the one that won last year, so that was good. I mean, not that I had anything to do with it. I was one of many. Not saying I got to pick, but I was glad that my taste was aligned with everybody else there. All right, well, thank you, Mr. McCann. I appreciate you coming in, and I guess keep us posted if there's something we can do to support or whatever.
Thank you all.
I
Yeah,
think-
I appreciate it. The city and the council and the chamber, it's been tremendous. I get that comment all the time from people all across the country. We're reaching as far south as Florida this year. We have a beef producer from there, California. We've got our first one from Mississippi this year. And every year I get the comment that I don't know how you could get this done. We couldn't get this done in our city or our state. So it's really a testament to the fact that we have an amazing, you know, Mr. Butterfield commented on it. It's kind of the culture here in Riverton has made it possible. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And I agree. I think we've got a lot of special people in Riverton.
Absolutely.
It's an awesome place to live, an awesome place to be able to rub shoulders with people. And what a great group of people to be able to get together and rub shoulders with here today. Although I think some of them were a little bit antsy about being around so many people, but they turned out okay. Well, thank you, Mr. McCann.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Keep us posted and about the event.
Thank you.
All right, next item, Planning Commission. Do you have the Planning Commission appointment? Do you have any report on that, or am I just kind of needing to tell people my recommendation, Mr. Michaud?
Your Honor, thank you. I'll give you a quick intro. So the City of Riverton has a planning commission, and they work with improvements to streets and alleys, city parks, additions to the city, zoning, subdivisions, urban planning, land use, urban renewal, and a lot of similar other decisions. And they're made up of 9 permanent members and 2 alternates. And recently, we have received the resignations of 2 of our permanent members. So we need to fill those 2 spots.
Thank you. And what the Planning Commission, of course, is made, the appointments are made on the nomination recommendation by the mayor, then with the approval of the council. In all reality, we had 4 letters of interest for this, which makes it very difficult. If you go through and read those, for example, first off, I would say Mr. Bennett kind of understates himself, I suppose. He's lived here for a long time, but he's a bus driver, was a bus driver up until recently for WRTA. Really an incredible community member, finding himself with a little bit more time available to be serving the community. Of course, Cody Beers, Zeke Goddard, and then Veronica Moorhead. My recommendation for appointment would be, number 1, Tara Carr right now is an alternate on the Planning Commission. I'd recommend she be moved up to one of the regular positions, and that for the other position that we would appoint Cody Beers, and then as an alternate that we would appoint Richard Bennett. So I'd entertain a motion to that regard to move Mrs. Carr up to a regular member, Cody Beers as a regular member, and then Richard Bennett as an alternate on the Planning Commission. And I entertain a motion to that regard.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Larson, second by Councilman Bailey. Any discussion on that?
Your Honor. There are several really good applicants for that. I would ask that you consider some new faces in the community, not discrediting what anybody else has done, but it would sure be nice to see some different faces and ideas in the community and on these boards, giving some different recommendations and ideas.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and I mean, and two of our applicants, for example, Mr. Goddard has spent some time on a planning commission, has been a resident here for 5 years, a lot of time in the building industry. Ms. Moorhead, I think, is passionate about serving. None of these, I think, are really easy decisions, and I agree with you.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Johnson. Who's your suggestion? Who do you suggest?
I was just looking, and Ms. Moorhead has a pretty impressive background, as does Mr. Goddard. I don't know either one of them, to be honest. I'm a fan of putting new faces in, new ideas, and that would be one of my recommendations. Moving Ms. Carr to a permanent position, I would be okay with that. I'd agree with that.
Well, and I haven't verified that with her. I tried to. I know you spoke with her, but I tried to get some feedback from Councilman Carr about her, and he hasn't returned my email that I sent 10 minutes ago.
Bold.
He might be slightly jaded on one side.
Check your inbox, Your Honor.
Okay.
You just got it.
Looks like he's on it.
Your Honor, I think it's nice and also makes it a lot harder when we get a lot of good applicants for these positions, so it's a tough decision. I think even if they are not chosen for this position, I think the city of Riverton has many different opportunities for service, and I think we should reach out to these folks for some other things that we may have coming up. So with that, I would agree with your decision and call for the question.
Okay. All in favor of appointment of Tara Carr as a regular member of the Planning Commission, Cody Beers as a regular member of the Planning Commission, and Richard Bennett as an alternate member of the Planning Commission, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say
Aye.
nay.
Nay.
I vote aye, motion passes. Thank you for the feedback, and I will say, anytime these agenda items come up before we get to a meeting, if you have any thoughts or feedback you want to give, feel free to. Also, feel free to give the feedback here too, because as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to things, it's kind of like when the president comes up with ideas for who should be on the different, who should be appointed judges. The way they write it is with the advice and consent of the Senate. And that advice and consent always changes depending on the level of the judge. For the higher ones, like the Supreme Court, Senate's very involved in the process. For the lower ones, like the district court judges, the Senate just kind of says, okay, whatever you want. And I by no means think that anything that we do which has council feedback should be something that's just automatic, so I appreciate it, Councilwoman Johnson. All right, well, that's the end of our regular meeting. I'd entertain a motion to convene into executive session for the purpose of personnel, considering the appointment, employment, right to practice, dismissal, complaints, or charges against a public officer, professional person, or employee in accordance with Wyoming Statute 164405A2, and also in accordance with 164405A10 for the purpose of considering offers, tendering wages, salaries, benefits, or terms of employment during negotiations.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bailey with the motion, Councilman Larson with the second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. I'd invite Mr. Butterfield in to attend the executive session. For those who are attending, I don't anticipate we're going to have any action items after this, will we, or may we?
Your Honor, I suppose that would be up to you.
I guess. Stay tuned. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll see. All right, we are convened into executive session at 8:45 p.m. I'm going to put my microphone down so that the mic will pick you up too, Councilman Carr. We are back here in the council chambers. I'd entertain a motion to reconvene into regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Larson with the motion. Councilwoman Johnson with the second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye, motion passes. We are reconvened at 9:26 PM. I would entertain a motion from the executive session.
Your Honor, I would move that we request the administrator to proceed with contract negotiations for the Public Works Director position.
For the highest ranked applicant,
Yes.
do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Bailey, second by Councilman Larson. Any other discussion? Does that fit your needs, Mr. Butterfield?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye, motion passes. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting today.
So move.
Second.
Councilwoman Pearson Lewis with the motion, Councilman Bailey with the second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. We are adjourned at 9:27 PM.